Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says. My name is Travis and let's talk about Doctor Who. More specifically, let's talk about how the BBC has plans for Doctor Who. Timey-wimey plans. Plans that are bigger on the inside. Plans that... You get the idea. According to Doctor Who TV, BBC Worldwide plans indicate that Doctor Who will run until season 15. A memorandum of understanding with a leading Chinese media company will see the broadening of the Doctor Who brand in China. That Chinese media company, Shanghai Media Group Pictures, will help BBC Worldwide broaden the Doctor Who fan base in China. Now you may be saying to yourself, well that's all well and good, but how does this mean that Doctor Who is guaranteed to stay on the air for the next 5 seasons? Well, here's the thing. The deal not only covers Russell T Davies seasons 1 through 4, Stephen Moffat's seasons 5 through 10, but Chris Chibnall's unaired 11th season, and then a first look at season 12 through 15. Jacqueline Lee Joe, Chief Marketing Officer for BBC Worldwide, says that Doctor Who has a substantial fan base in China. And now Chinese fans will be able to access the full catalog of Doctor Who and the spin-offs. Now keep in mind that this isn't an official renewing of Doctor Who for 12, 13, 14, or 15. Something terrible could happen. Awful viewership numbers. Doctor Who could get cancelled. I mean, the idea of a gargantuan franchise like Doctor Who tanking in the next couple years is pretty unlikely, but it is possible. It's just nice to know that BBC Worldwide is looking that far ahead in terms of making these deals. Though this does mean that there may be some changes to the show that some might deem unwelcome. Around the time that season 6 was airing, I was hearing whispers about how Doctor Who was now pandering to an American audience. Now, Doctor Who was sold to US television stations way back in 1972, sort of in the same way that BBC Worldwide is making a deal with China. But American television program directors didn't actually understand what exactly they purchased. They weren't exactly sure what to do with an episodic serial, so it kept getting shuffled around in programming schedules. But then in 1978, when the US picked up Tom Baker's first 4 seasons, they were a little more prepared. They had someone do a voiceover at the beginning for what was going on in the show, and then they had a teaser at the end for what to expect in the next episode. John Barrowman and David Tennant both attended San Diego Comic-Con in 2009 to promote Doctor Who and Torchwood, and that's when things started to get a little more Americanized. Then in season 6, there were adventures that were set and filmed in America, and there was a slight tonal shift. The scenes in Utah with Amy, Rory, River, and the Doctor with his Stetson, that was the first time that Doctor Who had been filmed on American soil. And when Matt Smith became the Doctor, he and Karen Gillan would pop over to the US to help promote the show. With cast and crew regularly visiting Comic-Cons, promoting in New York and Hollywood, Matt Smith seemed like the Doctor to help bridge US and UK fans. I remember those rumors about Johnny Depp possibly playing the Doctor in a movie, which thankfully never happened. With the rise of BBC Worldwide, coupled with the higher production of DVDs for American audiences and the available subscription of Doctor Who magazine in the US and the UK, the marketing now promotes the series to a much wider fan base than UK viewers. I'll be honest, I quickly became a fan of Doctor Who during David Tennant's run, but as an American, we didn't have much Doctor Who merchandise on this side of the pond. But over the next few years, and especially when Matt Smith became the Doctor, I noticed an abundance of Doctor Who merchandise everywhere. Some of it was amazing, and some of it just never should have been created. Doctor Who Potato Head, I'm looking at you. I feel like I may have gotten off topic just a little bit, but my point is, will this China deal affect the show, and in what way? From my perspective, I feel like the BBC has an interest in growing markets, and it makes sense for them to cater to those audiences in some way. If a group of people say, I really like your product, you want to make your product more accessible to those people. It makes financial sense. Now, do I think that the show should be centered around catering to those specific viewers? No. If an audience is already interested in something, you probably shouldn't completely flip it on its head. Keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it moving forward, but I feel like if you're constantly catering to one specific group of people, you're going to alienate longtime viewers. Having said that, I would love to see the Doctor have some crazy adventures in China. Maybe a futuristic China, a la Future X-Cops. Maybe like 2 of you know what I'm talking about, but that even involves time travel. In the comments down below, let me know if you're excited that BBC Worldwide has plans for Doctor Who's tentative foreseeable future, and how do you think that this China deal is going to affect the show, or do you think that it's just not going to affect the show at all? Like I said, I would be excited to see some China influences. Maybe they'd be able to go film a couple episodes over in China with this deal, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be that bad of a thing. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's going to be an awful thing, or do you think it's going to be a great thing, or do you just not care? Do you think it's not going to matter at all? As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to What I Have to Say, and you will see me on Monday.